that's always been a very important topic for us. Even more so now moving to Mumbai, we want to make sure that the first time the festival is happening here, we give the best possible experience for all the people attending, and especially for women. So we have women-only bars. We've made sure that a certain percentage of our staff, security, are all female. We will make sure that there are female bouncers and staff available at every part of the festival, so that if anyone needs to reach out to them, like, they're right there. Yes, we have a lot of cool experiences. Some of them even I stumble upon for the first time when I reach the festival, to be honest with you. I'm like, oh cool, this is here as well. So yeah, I think you'll be hard pressed to find a festival which covers as many genres as Sunburn does within 3 days.
All right, we're very, very excited as official radio partners to the Sunburn Festival. This is a lineup from another orbit. Extremely proud of it. And it's about time we brought on the man himself, Global CEO, Sunburn Festival, Karan Singh. The last time Karan was here was close to a decade ago. He was a young Turk. He had just assumed the CEO position at the time. But even then, I knew he was razor sharp, and he's lived up to his reputation because he's been churning out some of the greatest experiences and events that the Indian live music scene has seen. And some of the biggest, monstrous international artists are in India, courtesy him, and all the fine work that he's doing with brand Spacebound as well as Sunburn. Karan, great to see you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I can't believe it's been so long, but yeah, still at it. Obviously, there's been a lot of developments since I was last with you guys, but we're back. We're back with another edition of the festival. This time it's happening in very own Mumbai. It's just a few days away, and we are super excited about how things are shaping up.
Yeah, over the course of the hour, you're going to get to know all the stuff that's happening. But suffices to say that you need right now to get on to Book My Show and get your tickets. December 19th to 21st, Sunburn Festival 2025 hits Infinity Bay, Seuri. The biggest names, the wildest crowds, the most unforgettable vibes. So I'm going to start with that. The move to bring it to Mumbai, considering Goa was doing well as a festival base and hub.
Yeah.
And this brand new, spanking new venue that you're incredibly proud of. Talk about it.
Yeah, so, Sunburn was born in Goa. We owe so much to that beautiful state. And we've had many, many, many memorable years doing Sunburn in Goa. But we felt that the scale that we had reached, it was time to basically move out of Goa and move to a major city, because it was getting more and more difficult to sustain the festival with all of the various logistical requirements, crowd safety and all of that in Goa. So we decided this year to move to Mumbai, which has, organically become the festival and concert capital of India. You have many of the biggest concerts and festivals already taking place here. We saw a vacant, sort of slot in December. We actually moved the dates by a week, so we moved it to the pre-Christmas weekend this time. But yeah, this is the first time the Sunburn Festival is happening in Mumbai. Although, as you know, we've already been doing a lot of big Sunburn shows and concerts in Mumbai over the years. As recently as March, earlier this year, we had the world's biggest Holi with Martin Garrix at DY Patil, which was attended by over 40,000 people. So, we're from here. We know the city like the back of our hand. I think we're very excited to bring Sunburn to Mumbai. And yeah, in terms of the venue, obviously the requirements for a festival venue are very different from a concert, right? Because a festival is multiple stages. You need that much land to be able to curate that entire experience. For people, you need enough space for parking, multiple access points. So yeah, we hunted. We saw a lot of venues. We also saw a couple of venues which were outside of the city a little bit, but we felt that we want to bring Sunburn, to the heart of the city. And then that's when we basically came upon this venue, which we have, together with the venue owners, the Mumbai Port Trust, called Infinity Bay. So yeah, it is owned by the Mumbai Port Trust. It's on the eastern side. It's overlooking the water. It's beautiful. It's massive. There's more than enough space for us to create any sort of experience that we want. It's very, very well connected as well. the good thing is that there's not much around in terms of houses or people staying there. So, we will not be disturbing anybody at all with our festival. It should be quite easy for people to access, whether they're coming in, say from Navi Mumbai or Pune on the bridge, or they're coming in from South Bombay or from Bandra or Andheri or wherever, right? It's quite equidistant for people. So we feel that it's actually the ideal location for us to host Sunburn. I honestly feel that after Sunburn, it's going to basically open up and you'll see a lot more festivals and events happening at this venue.
Yeah, and good on the Mumbai Port Trust to actually develop the Eastern Front. I've been to a few gigs, Independence Rock, for example, a couple of editions of that at the other savory venue, which is also pretty exciting. It's by the waterfront. I can't wait to get to Infinity Bay. And like you said, ample parking, but you'd still advise people to take public transport as far as possible. It's always good, isn't it?
Of course. The station is literally across the road from our venue. We're providing, for people to be able to cross over to the venue very easily. So, there's also enough drop-off points for Ola and Uber and everything. So, train is an option, cabs are an option. You can drive there if you want. There's enough parking as well. So, yeah, I think that we made it as convenient and easy as possible for people to come there, especially because it's a multiple day experience. More than half of the people actually come for all the 3 days, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important for us to provide an easy way in and out for them.
Wonderful. Okay, let's talk about the headliner. Oh, Mr. David Guetta himself. David loves India, doesn't he, Karan? And getting him here for his fans at a time when he's probably the most recognized face on the planet as far as DJing and electronic music is concerned. And this is really a casting coup. He is headliner on day 2, which is the 20th. I can't wait to see him play. Talk about that.
Yeah, David Guetta, the number one, in the world, the king. He's the biggest electronic producer of all time. He's coming back to India after many, many years, I think almost a decade. So as much as you said he likes India, but, actually getting him to come here in the midst of his, insane schedule is not easy. He also has a new show called Monolith, which is what he's bringing to India for the very first time. So that's a very, very special, unique and iconic David Guetta production that you will see happening at Sunburn, making its India debut over here. So we've basically created an amazing, design of the main stage, which basically encapsulates the monolith within it. And the way that that's going to come to life during his performance, I think will be absolutely unbelievable. And yeah, I think that, the anticipation, I can feel it. I have tons of people reaching out to me every single day about David Guetta performing at Sunburn. In some ways, I feel like there is a parallel between him and Sunburn itself, because Sunburn has also been around for a long time now. We started in 2007, right? So It's been like 18 years. And for us to stay at the top of the game for 18 years, we've had to keep reinventing ourselves. And the same can be said about David Guetta as well. Of course, he's been at it for way longer than we have, but he's at the top. He's churning out hit after hit. He's the most respected, electronic music producer out there. And yeah, we are super excited and we can't wait to have him with us.
And currently, the DJ who's been voted the world's #1 hard techno DJ is Sara Landry. Sara is absolutely fierce. And I tell you this, I've been catching some of her conversations online. This is, again, something that fans are really dying to see. This is her debut performance in India, right?
This is her debut, so for us, it's always important to, when we're curating a festival, to keep a mix of, legends who are coming back after a while, who people want to see, who are known names, household names, I would say, in fact, but also, sort of have artists who are maybe newer to the scene, making their debut in India. Sara Landry is exactly that, right? She's blown up in the last couple of years. And hard techno as a genre itself has been, growing exponentially, not just in India, but, in other parts of the world as well. And, she's kind of known as the priestess of hard techno. in as a genre. Her sets are always very, very, full of energy and, extremely hard. They get the best out of people and out of the fans. And she's headlining day one. She's going to be closing the stage on the first day. We have some other excellent techno acts with her on day one to make that entire day exciting for all the techno music lovers across the country. So Matham, Richie Houghton are all performing with her on the first day. And, therefore we expect to see all of the underground music lovers coming out for the first day of Sunburn this year.
Tickets are live now at Book My Show. They're going very, very fast. Please go get them and join us at Sunburn 2025. This, again, for those of you tuned in late, is 19th to 21st at the Infinity Bay Sewri in Bombay. If you're driving in from Navi Mumbai, you take the Atal Setu. Otherwise, it's just a stone's throw away if you take the coastal road. And the eastern seafront is absolutely beautiful. All right, the legend returns. I mean, who can trigger current festival nostalgia like the great Axwell? Talk about him.
Yeah, Axwell, Above and Beyond are both playing for us on the final day of the festival, and in many ways it's a full circle moment for us because they were both headliners for the very first Sunburn in 2007.
Wow, that's history.
In Goa, right? So, and now they're both performing on the same day. Axwell obviously has been on an amazing, journey of his own, both as a solo project, Axwell, as well as a part of Swedish House Mafia. Axwell as well, I think he's performing at Sunburn after quite a few years. So fans have been waiting for him. Fans were expecting him to come because there were a few hints that he dropped in interviews. So when we announced Axwell, it was just like a surge of emotion from all the fans who were just waiting for this moment. As you said, he's known for, his sets all have a story. Right, even most recently at Tomorrowland, I think his set was one of the most enjoyed, most viewed sets because it just takes the fans on a journey, and a journey of where you just keep getting happier and happier and happier throughout the set. That's what he delivers, and I'm a big fan personally. I've always been a fan of his music. The progressive house stuff that he and the Swedish House Mafia have done is just amazing, and we can't wait to relive all of those memories at Sunburn with him this year on the final day.
As far as fans are concerned, I'm a massive Above and Beyond fan because the music to me is emotional. I know a lot of people don't associate emotions with electronic music, but that's what Above and Beyond's music does to me. It's got that quality. You get goosebumps, you get emotions, you get reminded of a lot of emotions in your life. You feel euphoria.
Yeah.
And it's so, and they are what I call a legacy act.
Absolutely.
It's like, you announce Def Leppard and people go legacy rock act.
Legacy, yeah.
You know that with electronic music, Above and Beyond are that legacy act.
Right, absolutely. You can't talk about taking fans on a journey without mentioning Above and Beyond. What you said, you hit the nail on the head. It's about the emotions that it brings out, which sometimes is strange for a non-electronic music fan because according to them, looking from the outside, it's just about, the drops and the bass and all of that. But acts like Above and Beyond, Axwell as well, are about taking you on that emotional journey, right? And you have to be there to experience it. Even Above and Beyond, for that matter, all of these acts have somehow, despite having a very, very intrinsic connection with India and Indian people, they haven't actually been to the country in a while. So we are very happy that they chose Sunburn to be the platform for them to return to India. Above and Beyond in particular has a very passionate following in all the cities in India, and we can't wait for their fans to come together again for a euphoric moment at Sunburn.
For those of you who've just tuned in, just caught us mid-video, this is Karan Singh. He is Global CEO at the Sunburn Festival. Sunburn comes to Mumbai, and we're extremely proud. This is at Infinity Bay in Sewri, December 19 to 21st. David Guetta, Axwell, Sara Landry, and of course Above and Beyond, amongst others. The food and beverage experience has got to be right, People in India now have experienced concerts around the world. You just talked about Tomorrowland. Every year I'm meeting more and more people who've gone to Tomorrowland and come back with, with an enriched experience. So, are you going the whole hog as far as that is concerned? Curated menus, gourmet pop-ups, I don't know, signature cocktail bars?
Absolutely. I think that again, now that we've moved to Mumbai, we've managed to solve for a lot of the logistical issues that we had in terms of delivering the right F&B experience at the festival. So I think that you'll see like a very interesting and nice mix of brands, some more household brands being there, but also, some of the more sort of localized, interesting flavors. There'll be something in it for everyone. We've tied up with Social to, they're sort of doing the food for our VIP table area, but they're also doing like a proper pop-up cafe and restaurant at the festival. And yeah, apart from that, we obviously work closely with our sponsors and partners such as Diageo, Carlsberg, Tuborg, Red Bull, to make sure that we deliver, the absolute best in class in terms of drinks, mixes, cocktails, so that there's something in it for everyone who wants to attend and have a great time.
I want to talk a little bit about the production spectacle that Sunburn is going to be. I mean, what is electronic dance music without the stage design, the lighting, the rigs, the pyro, all of that? And I imagine you're going to try and make it as immersive as possible. And have you been able to engineer the venue, to bring it up to those standards?
Absolutely. As I said, the venue provides a nice, clean canvas for us to basically just go ahead and, paint the experience that we want to showcase this year. Electronic music festivals and Sunburn in particular have always been about having that larger-than-life, immersive main stage with the best in terms of technology, LED, lights, special effects, pyros, everything, right? That's basically what the experience is about, along with the music and the artists. And you'll see a lot of that at Sunburn this year as well. It's the interesting thing this year is that for the first time, and this is partly because of the Monolith production that we're doing with David Guetta, is that is on day 2. That's an iconic part of the stage on the second day, but that's only for his day. So the main stage will actually be undergoing a transformation between day 1 and day 2 and between day 2 and day 3.
Wow.
So while a lot of it will obviously remain the same, it's not like we can uproot the entire stage in 24 hours. That's, physically impossible. But the experience on each day is going to be distinct and completely different. And therefore, each artist playing the main stage, whether it is David Guetta or Axwell, Above and Beyond, Sara Landry, Matham, will be able to deliver a unique experience with their music, with their vibe, with their visuals, and all of that. And that's just the main stage, right? We have another 4 stages, which each have their own, which are obviously much smaller in terms of size and scale, but each have their own, unique design, proposition, vibe, much more intimate, different genres such as house, tech, Afro house, trance. So for people who like to experiment, who like to listen to different genres, they'll be able to experience those at some of the other stages of the festival as well.
Multiple stages, diverse programming. That's Sunburn Festival 2025, a playground of absolute genres. Now, this is so important, the safety piece, in particular, safety for women. And you've gone out on a limb, Karan. You've created these women-only bars, female bartenders, and also safe zones across the venue. Talk about safety for ladies.
Yeah, that's, always been a very important topic for us. Even more so now moving to Mumbai, we want to make sure that the first time the festival is happening here, we give the best possible experience for all the people attending and especially for women. So we have women-only bars. We've made sure that a certain percentage of our staff, security are all female. We will make sure that there are female bouncers and staff available at every part of the festival so that if anyone needs to reach out to them, like they're right there. Even obviously in terms of getting in, getting out, entry, exit, all of that is separate. In terms of this is sometimes an overlooked and sometimes an over-discussed part of festivals, but toilets, hygiene, we are making sure that we over-index on all of these things this year so that everyone has the most both safe and pleasant experience possible at the festival.
Let's talk about the community you've built. Sunburn lovers, lovers of the festival, the atmosphere, the acts, and the experience. And you've obviously got to create, experiential stuff for them. For example, the merchandise, that's such an important part of it. I believe you also have a flea market, and how cool is that? Some massage lounges to get a good rub before, in between gigs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to sneak off for a couple of hours myself in the middle of a busy day at Sunburn, but never had the chance to so far. Who knows, maybe this is the year. But yes, we have a lot of cool experiences. Some of them even I stumble upon for the first time when I reach the festival, to be honest with you. I'm like, oh, cool, this is here as well. But yeah, we do have a lot of games, activities. Some of the partners and sponsors that we work with always also curate these experiences for people, because people come, they spend 6-7 hours in a day over there. They're not going to be dancing or in front of the stage for the entire duration, right? They are going to look for different things to do and take a break and just chill for a while as well. So so yes, we do have a bunch of different experiences there. We do have a flea market. We also have a lot of co-branded merchandise, some of which we've had for a while now, but we have a lot of cool new collaborations this year, which will be showcased for the first time, at the festival. So definitely, whoever is coming down, keep an eye out for that. You'll see a lot of exciting new products at the festival and some cool offers as well.
What's also important is that there is a synergy between electronic dance music and gaming. Lots of guys which is why the gaming industry thrives on either hard rock, or it thrives on electronic music as a background for the games.
Correct.
I believe you're building a gaming arcade.
Yep. We've tied up with some of the best gamers in the country who are actually going to be attending the festival. They're going to be, sort of playing and showcasing their skills over there. So whether people want to actually participate in that or just go and see them in action, that's going to be possible. As you said, there's always been a great synergy between electronic music and gaming. You had people like Alan Walker and Alok being a part of some of the biggest games in the past with their music and also with their characters. Electronic music provides the background, not just in gaming, but a lot of different experiences in life. So I think that's a collaboration again happening for the first time that we're pretty excited about.
All right. When you get into Sunburn, the music is going to be all kinds of electronic music genres. And this time you've done that very carefully. You've curated the genres, whether it's hard trance or it's house or it's progressive, just a bit on the subgenres of electronic music.
So, there was a time when the genres, we did different genres, but they were divided by stage. So on the main stage, you pretty much got to see the commercial EDM. If you wanted techno or trance, you had to go to some of the smaller stages. But now I think that the new avatar of Sunburn and festivals all over the world is blending of genres, right? You want to give people different experiences all the time. So on the main stage itself, across the days, we have the commercial EDM stuff, but we also have progressive house. We have old school trance, we have hard techno, we have melodic techno, we have Afro house, with artists like Novak on the main stage on day 2, for example. So there are a lot of genres that are covered on the main stage. Apart from that, as I mentioned, some of the smaller stages, for example, Almost Human is an artist that we work with closely at Sunburn. He's doing a takeover of one of the stages with a bunch of friends. So that is an entire melodic techno, journey on that day. Sartek, again, who's one of the biggest Indian DJs, is taking over a stage with folk house, as a genre. You have Indo Warehouse, of course, playing on the main stage as well. They have obviously their own genre that they've created, which has blown up because it's a combination of desi rhythms and house and techno music. So I think you'll be hard pressed to find a festival which covers as many genres as Sunburn does within 3 days.
Just some nostalgia thrown in for some good measure. When you look back to all the editions of Sunburn that you've been to, is nostalgia introduced via memory? Is there a performance that you remember and go, wow, this was goosebump-inducing?
I think that there are many for me, but because I started in 2011, working rather. I was attending, before that. But for me, my first ever Sunburn experience working on it was Avicii in December 2011. And till date, he remains one of my favorite artists of all
Even
time.
though Tim is not with us anymore, yeah.
Yep. So, we always pay a tribute to him at Sunburn. We've had some of our most memorable events with him. Obviously, every year at Sunburn, a lot of artists still play his music and the crowd goes absolutely mad. And the other one that I would mention is probably way back in 2009. I think that was a seminal moment for Sunburn and for the scene in India because we booked Armin van Buuren for the first time. So he played in Goa in December 2009. And I think that was that aha moment when basically Sunburn and the entire scene went from this underground on the fringes, small thing happening on a beach in Goa to something that was entering, like a larger conversation.
Dub Vision, Richie Houghton, Matham, Third Party, Sara Landry, Above and Beyond, Axwell, David Guetta, just absolutely smoldering acts there. Tickets are live at Book My Show. There are lots of experiences that you can go check out. There are also maps there for you. This is Sunburn at the Infinity Bay in Sewri. I'm going to come to now the parent company, Spacebound. You're obviously keeping the events and the experiential outings going through the year. Talk about some of the memorable stuff you've done and what you're looking forward to in 2026.
Yeah, so we do a lot more events with Spacebound. Everything is electronic music focused pretty much. One thing that I actually want to mention is that during the Sunburn days itself, the party doesn't end at 10 p.m. because we are taking over the dome at NSCI.
Wow.
For big after parties. So a bunch of your favorite artists from the festival are going to be playing these after parties, including Richie Houghton and Matham on the first day, Indo Warehouse doing a takeover on day 2, and Vinny Vici doing a takeover on day 3. So, if you're joining us for the festival, I'm sure you're going to have more energy to go on beyond 10 p.m. So yeah, that's happening as well. And then beyond that, in the next few months, we're doing a 3-city tour with RG at the end of the year. He's one of the top melodic techno producers and acts in the world right now. We're doing Bangalore, Delhi, and Goa with him. We then have a huge 6-city tour in February with DJ Snake, who is obviously one of India's favorite DJs. He again has a great connection with the country, and he's coming back after 3 long years. He just released a new album called Nomad, which is trending, globally. We can't wait to have him back with us. So we're doing Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Pune with him in February. And then, to kind of close the season on the 27th of March, we have Kind Music, playing Mumbai for the first time with their iconic cloud production. So it's all 3 of the guys, Adam Port, Rampa, and me, coming together. There's that's been announced. There's a lot of hype around it, and I think that personally, I think that's going to be one of the coolest shows that we've had the privilege of actually producing in the country. So yeah, that's some of the exciting stuff that we have coming up for you the next few months. But obviously, nothing gets bigger than what's next weekend, which is Sunburn Festival.
Absolutely. You want to just shout out to some of your partners, some new partners, some old tickets, of course, on Book My Show.
Yep. So, I think any festival in India, having the right partners, brand associations is extremely important, both in terms of just making the festival viable in the first place, as well as enhancing the experience for customers. This year we have Tuborg and Diageo. I think I mentioned those in terms of the beverage partners. Rupe is the presenting sponsor for Sunburn for the entire season. We did a big exclusive pre-sale with them. I think that we also connect really well with them because Rupe and Sunburn are both homegrown brands, and we're both very, very proud of that. Apart from that, Hyundai is our official automobile. They've been partnering with us for 2 years now, and that's been a very productive and excellent partnership as well. And then we have Red Bull and a bunch of other brands that we work with. And the good thing is that, as I said, all of the brands actually spend a lot of time in coming up with experiences and activations that will add value to the life of every single person who comes through the gates at Sunburn. And I think, that's the best part about these associations.
Hey, I believe during your college days, you did a bit of radio yourself. Was this during your postgrad at Harvard or your undergrad days?
No, this is during undergrad at LSE. We had a show which was focusing on football and sports because that's, alongside music, obviously, that's a huge passion of mine. Although, thanks to having 3 kids in the form of Manchester United, my time watching football has been curtailed a lot. But yeah, those were some good days and some good banter. And we still keep it alive with some fantasy football and on the groups nowadays. But yeah, I think that was a cool thing for me to obviously do during college.
So it's amazing. In London School of Economics, you'd get on air, Indian boy, doing these, what are they? They were updates of the previous night's games.
Yeah, just just updates, banter, some things never changed. Literally, we were like 16 and 17 then, and we're 40 plus now, having the same conversations, complaining about the same referees. So some things never change, but that's great. That's how guys are, right?
What fun.
Yeah.
These are wonderful times for consumers because the live scene is blown up. It's almost like post the pandemic. This is revenge concert going.
Absolutely.
Like revenge traveling,
Yeah.
People are getting out. And I've noticed that if you give them a good experience, especially in Mumbai, people are willing to come out in droves, irrespective of the genre of music, electronic dance music, rock, hip hop, all of that stuff. So talk about that. Talk about the advent of international acts, and not just in the cities, but also how cities and satellite townships are also huge. And you obviously do need government support, whether it's the national government or the state governments.
Yeah, I think, the experience economy, as they say, is here to stay, right? The new generation is clearly investing in their own experiences. They've realized that is what makes them happy. Those are the moments that they basically live for. You've obviously seen a massive influx of concerts, live events, festivals across the country, mainly in the big metros like Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. A lot of these events, are seeing thousands of people coming through. The good thing is that promoters are definitely focusing on providing a top-notch and a world-class experience. As someone who has attended a lot of events in other countries, including in Europe and the US and other parts of Asia, I think that I'm proud to say that our experience is at par with any of them, right? Like we're bringing the big artists here as well, but even in terms of venues, convenience, experience, I think that we're definitely getting there. The government of different states, authorities have begun to recognize, the value that we're adding, the contribution that the concerts and festivals are bringing. And, now compared to maybe a few years ago, they are a lot more supportive, a lot more understanding. Their doors are open. They're willing to have a conversation. They understand the issues that you're having. They help to solve them. They're also literally opening up a lot of government and publicly owned venues, for festivals and events and gigs as well. So I think from that point of view, the future looks bright. And yeah, one thing I want to add in terms of what you mentioned about, tier 2 and 3 cities and towns is for a brand like Sunburn, that's where we see a lot of growth. Because some of these areas are still underserved, right? Like you would not see a Coldplay or a Dua Lipa probably playing in many of these cities, but we did 8 or 9 cities with Martin Garrix. We did 13 cities with Alan Walker.
Wow!
Right. So we took these artists to places like Bhubaneswar, Shillong, Jaipur, pretty much Chandigarh, pretty much all over the country. And we saw that there are people who are following them. There are people who are into Sunburn and electronic music in all of these cities as well.
So do you look at data points? Like, for example, what is their Spotify stream like? How many people are listening to them? IP addresses, whether it's, people in Calcutta listening or people in Bombay listening, things like that?
We look at that. We also look at YouTube stats. We look at Google Trends. And then, yeah, I mean, but then, beyond the data, it's obviously just, sort of also going with your gut and taking a call. And the good thing is that a lot of these electronic music artists are able to actually travel to these cities. Their riders are not as complicated as some of the live acts, right? So they're also willing to, I wouldn't say compromise, but go with an experience that may not look exactly the same in a Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore as compared to, say, a Shillong or a Chandigarh or a Guwahati. And I think it's great because many of these artists, when they tour the US, for example, they get on a bus and they tour like 30 cities, right? So, we were always like, when will that happen in India? And it is beginning to happen now. Maybe not with the big live acts, but at least in electronic or some of the smaller acts, you can see that happening. And I think eventually, there's only so much that you can keep doing in a Bombay, Delhi, and Bangalore. So that is where the growth will come from.
Sunburn Festival, at Sunburn Festival on Instagram, at Sunburn Festival on YouTube and across the World Wide Web, social media. Please go check them out. There are lots of updates, easy ways of getting in and out of the festival, also lots of dope on the acts which are there this year. Remember, tickets are live and going out very fast on Book My Show. So go get them immediately. This is going to be a festival of a lifetime, Sunburn. And considering it's headlined by Above and Beyond, David Guetta, Sara Landry, Axwell, you are going to have your hands full. It's from me, Hrishi K. It's a wrap with Global CEO of Sunburn Festival, Karan Singh. Karan, thanks for rolling by, mate, and look forward to seeing you at the festival.
Thank you. See you then. Thanks so much for having me.
94.3 Radio 1.